Hello. Today we are doing a tier list of every TV show I've ever watched, or almost every, I guess. A couple of years ago, I started logging every show I watched, and I figured the list was so long at this point, I might as well use it for something. So if you're looking for a show recommendation, then I guess this is the video for you. There's over 100 shows in this list, which is already a lot. The only things not on the list are anime or MCU shows, and that's because there's a lot of them, and I figured I might as well just put them on another list. So the first one is the Arrowverse. That's right. You thought this was a normal tier list, but it's actually a tier list inside of a tier list. If you don't know what the Arrowverse is, it's basically all of the DC superhero shows that they made for the CW. They're all combined together into one universe, and it's considered the Arrowverse because the first one was Arrow. I will say it's actually pretty good. As time goes on, most of these CW shows get worse and worse, but Arrow, it actually didn't. I would actually put Arrow probably S tier just because it started it. It's very good. I would say up until season like 4. Those are the good seasons. Watch those 4. All right, The Flash. It's S tier, unfortunately. Unfortunately for me, it's S tier. It's above Arrow. I would not recommend watching the show past season 1, but I grew up watching The Flash, and seasons 1 through 3, decent. Season 1, very good. Anything past that, it kind of just goes off the rails. I'm not gonna lie. It's an S tier for me only because of sentimentality. Supergirl, A tier, honestly. The plots are good. The characters are good. Same issue with all of these other ones where as it goes on, it just gets worse. But I didn't think Supergirl was a strong show. Black Lightning, I'm gonna put it at B. I believe I watched season 1 and 2. I think there's 4 total. So I'm not gonna put it in did not finish because I technically did watch a lot of it, but I don't know. It just didn't have the feel of the other CW shows, which could be a good thing. To be honest, it was all right. I would definitely put it above some of the other Arrowverse shows, like Batwoman. This is a C tier for sure. This was a pretty all right show. Season 1 was all right, and then they recast the main character halfway through. Obviously, there's probably some issues behind the scenes, but it made the flow of the story just really bad. Like all of a sudden, or season 1 just this character's arc, and all of a sudden it switches to another character. Unfortunately, Batwoman's gonna be a C tier. Constantine, skippable. This show is not great. Individually, the story is fine. Like there's some cool moments, obviously. And if you want to see Constantine, just watch Legends of Tomorrow. It's the same character but better. It's the same actor too. Legends of Tomorrow, high A. Honestly, this might be. It's rough. Each season of this needs to be judged individually just because it's so different every season. Like they just jump around to so many different plot lines and do so many things. The concept of the show is really good. They just took all of the characters that people didn't really have that much interest in and put them all together into one show. I would put it A tier. Superman and Lois. All right, I'll put it in S tier. This show is actually really good. I like Superman, so personally, I found this show to be very good because it focuses on the Superman that's not many Superman interpretations show. It's him as a dad. It's him with a family. Stargirl, unfortunately, I'll put it at B. It's very, very niche. I'm not gonna lie. If you don't know anything about DC, Stargirl might be the most boring show you've ever watched. But if you do like DC stuff, it's all about the Justice Society, which I think is a pretty cool team. I watched the first season. It was really good. The second one, it just didn't grip me as much, so I put it at high B. This would be my Arrowverse tier list. All right, Arrowverse as a total, A tier for sentimentality. If I were to watch it as a new viewer, I might put it in B tier. I'm not gonna lie, but for me, it goes here. Community. This is an S tier show. If you've never seen Community, just go watch it. They're like 20-minute episodes. It's the best comedy series I've seen besides maybe one other one that's on the list here. If you haven't seen Community, just go watch it. Glee. Oh boy. The internet loves Glee. They love all of the horrible things about it. I'm going to put it in B tier. I personally really like musicals, and each episode of Glee is basically just a musical. The plot and characters of Glee are not great. It takes a lot to watch this show, I'm not gonna lie. It's also fairly dated, even though it only came out like 10 years ago. I would put it Probably B tier. It's gonna be like way down the list though, for sure. It's a fun watch for sure. And if you watch it, watch up to season 3. Anything past that is not worth it at all. Okay. Next up is the 100. I'm gonna put this, unfortunately, also in B tier, definitely above Glee. I really like seasons 1 through 4. It was very interesting. It's like the perfect merge between an apocalyptic story and the teen genre. It meshes really well. They did a good job, but then they did things like, sorry, there's a little bit of spoilers, but it's like way down the line. They go to space. It just didn't work at the end. They kept trying to do things like bringing back characters, trying to bring back old plots. It did not work. Unfortunately, the 100 fell off pretty hard, but the beginning seasons were quite good. 13 Reasons Why, C tier. The first season was like, all right, maybe less than all right. And they kept making more. I only watched the first season. I heard that the rest of them was just not worth watching. And yeah, I put it there, not much more said. Shadowhunters, B tier, above Glee. This is a show that I honestly don't even remember that much. I remember the main 2 characters being interesting, maybe the main 4 characters being interesting, but I could not tell you the plot of the show if I wanted to. I liked it when I watched it, but I do not remember anything about it. So I'm going to put it in B tier. When Umbrella Academy, honestly, A tier, fairly high A. This was a very good show. The last season, people didn't like that much, but honestly, I kind of liked it. I liked how it ended just because it kind of subverted people's expectations. That's not always a good thing, but it ended pretty well. Also, the main cast of characters has some of the best chemistry out of like any other show with an ensemble cast. So I definitely say that Umbrella Academy is worth the watch from seasons 1 through 4, all the way to the end. Lucifer, this is a personal bias, but it's S tier. This show is very good. It's funny. It's a cop procedural, which normally I don't like. I find those to be very boring, but it has the main character, Lucifer. Tom Ellis plays this character so well, it's insane. I would watch the whole thing, honestly. That would be my recommendation right now. So just go watch Lucifer, start to end. It's that good of a show. iZombie, skippable. I'm going to be honest. It's one of those other... I watched a lot of CW shows. I'm not going to lie. I watched pretty much all of the ones that were not just like about normal people. I don't remember anything about iZombie, genuinely. I think it was like one of those case of the week type of shows. The main character's a zombie. There's zombies in it. That's about all I got. The Magicians, I would put it at A tier. The Magicians is such a weird show. It's like a mature version of Harry Potter, where all of the characters are either so annoying that it wraps around to you liking them, or they're so good that you like them. It's very strange. I don't know how they did it, but they managed to make the show actually enjoyable to watch. I don't know if I finished it. I think I watched 4 seasons. At the end of the 4th season, something major happens. I'm not going to spoil it. But that made me not really want to watch last season. But it's still worth the watch, I would say. Next up is Vampire Diaries. Here's what I will say. I will put it on A tier. I like Vampire Diaries. Unfortunately, it is another CW show. It is about vampires. I like it better than Twilight, I will say. But it was such a dramatic show. Like everything that happened in that, it just made you want to watch it. But I would put it lowest of A probably. The Originals is a spin-off series of Vampire Diaries focusing on the original vampires. I actually like the show a lot. It was pretty good. I would definitely put it above Vampire Diaries, but you have to watch Vampire Diaries in order to watch Originals. Legacies, skippable. I'm sorry. I really wanted to like Legacies. It is another Vampire Diaries spin-off. I liked the main characters for like Hope, Josie, MG. Those were all good characters. They made the story the most boring thing possible to watch. Post season 1, it turned to something not worth watching. The only thing good about this show is that they did an episode that was a musical of the Vampire Diaries, like as a spoof. That was probably the best episode of that entire show. Next one is Titans. This is a DC show focusing on the Teen Titans, but it's live action, and they're all grown up now. Actually, Only Robin's grown up. B tier. The seasons are alright. I like the characters a lot. The cast is very good, but the plot lines are so boring. Like, they chose some of the most boring villains possible for this show. That's why it's going to be in B. It's definitely not below Glee. I'll probably put it above Shadowhunters. The Society. This is going to be an A tier, I think. This is a show that was one season on Netflix that got canceled, I believe. But the one season is so good. It's like Lord of the Flies, like that book, but as a TV show and with supernatural stuff going on. That's about all I can say to explain it without spoiling it. It's such a good show, though. I wish it didn't get canceled. Swamp Thing. It's another DC show, but it's not Arrowverse and it's not Titan Universe. It's kind of just its own thing for some reason. Skippable. I don't remember much about it. Cobra Kai. This one, I wish I could put an S tier, but unfortunately, I have to put an A tier. I probably put it about there. Cobra Kai is a really good show if you've seen The Karate Kid. However, it is still worth watching even if you haven't seen Karate Kid. The series just takes karate, which is like what it's based around, to such an extravagant level. Like, every time they do something, it's just so absurd, but it just works. Like, you just have to think, you have to go into the show imagining that this is what people imagine karate to be like. And I think it's just so funny. But also has Sholo Maridueño in it and Jacob Bertrand. The Boys, low A, high B. Honestly, The Boys is alright. It's another one of those superhero shows that are spoofing it. Oh, it's superheroes, but with a twist, because people don't like Marvel anymore, right? Not really. The Boys season 1 was pretty good just because it was very shocking. It kind of just stalled out. Like, it's mostly the same thing over and over and over again. I'm hoping that the final season, the 5th one, it's supposed to be the last one. I hope that's going to be good. Teenage Bounty Hunters. The name of this show sounds stupid. It's an S tier. This show is so good. I don't know why. It got one season on Netflix. It got canceled. But for some reason, it's just so good. The main two characters, who are siblings, have such good chemistry for like sibling chemistry. And then there's another main guy who they like work with. As a trio, it's just so funny. The show just works. You don't have to watch it, but I personally think it's very good. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I would put this in low A, just because you probably should watch it if you haven't seen it. It's very culturally relevant. Maybe not anymore, but it was. But it's good. And it's very good the way they planned it out. Like, I don't know if they wrote the whole thing beforehand or whatnot, but all 4 seasons work directly in succession with each other perfectly well. I would put it probably low A. I'm not that attached, but I do think that it is a good show. The next one is The Order, C tier. I don't even know what this is about anymore, I'm going to be honest. Legend of Korra. If we're talking about Legend of Korra, which, if you don't know, is the sequel series to Avatar: The Last Airbender, I would put Korra above Avatar. I know that's a hot take, but me personally, I like the industrialized, I don't know if it's Victorian, but like steampunk vibe. That world is so much more interesting to me than what Avatar was. There's just one thing called pro bending, which is just them in an arena, like 3v3, using their powers to do like a sports match of some sort. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen out of this franchise. And they only did it one time, so I'm really sad about that. But that's why I'm putting Korra here. The Queen's Gambit. High B. A. If you don't like chess, you won't like this show. If you do like chess, you very much will like this show. Maybe I'll put in the middle. Dash and Lily. I don't know why, but I'm putting this A tier. I just really like this show. I think it's just because it's set during Christmas and I love Christmas shows. But the dynamic between the main two characters is good. And it's just them like running around doing random stuff in New York during Christmas. And that's just kind of a vibe I like. Julie and the Phantoms. High B. It got one season, was canceled. I don't even know if it was canceled. I think they just planned for one season. It was alright. It was a musical. The songs were good. But it wasn't anything crazy, I guess. Riverdale. Oh boy. I didn't finish Riverdale. I think I watched 4 seasons out of the 6 or 7 that they have. C tier. You do not need to watch this show at all. I'm not gonna lie. Riverdale is such a strange show from start to finish. I would recommend just not watching it. Harley Quinn, the animated show. It's actually really good. I would put an A tier. I think it does a very good job of making fun of DC while also including things from DC. For some reason, all of these like outsourced DC projects are so afraid to put characters and events into the show, but Harley Quinn isn't. They put everything from all of the DC history and they make fun of it. It's just perfect. Honestly, I would put it maybe like around here. The Mandalorian, A tier. It's good. It's just good Star Wars. It's the thing that pretty much brought Star Wars back to life after Disney made the third movie. Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian, pretty good. Grogu, it's a funny character. Nothing more to say, pretty much. The Tick, I think I did not finish the show. Maybe watch season 1, but it was really weird. It was another one of those superhero shows. If you can't tell, I like superhero stuff. But The Tick was so random, and I don't really remember it that much. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, S tier. This is also probably one of the best comedy shows, not of all time, but maybe within the last 1 or 2 decades. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is definitely up there. It's very good. Every episode is very good. All the characters are funny. I think I'm putting it... Would I put it above Community? Nah, I like Community more. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine is definitely worth watching from start to finish. Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. I think I did not finish this show. I might have seen the first season. This is another one of those shows, like kind of like Glee, where every episode there's multiple musical numbers. The gimmick is that like in her brain, she has this power to make people interpret their actions in song, which was honestly a pretty funny gimmick, but it did get very repetitive. Smallville. Oh man, I love Smallville. I really, really do. I think we'll put it in A tier. Smallville is the story of Clark Kent, not Superman, Clark Kent, as he goes from a teenager to adult life. At the very, very end of the show, does he actually become Superman, and you only see it for like a single frame. But I think it's one of the best adaptations of Superman that I've ever seen, just because it just has so much charm. But Tom Welling was very good as Clark Kent. Michael Rosenbaum was a very good Lex Luthor. And I like their take on the Superman mythos. Also, the theme song is just iconic. Video Game High School. How can you not like Video Game High School? Anybody that likes video games would probably like Video Game High School. I would put it A tier. Maybe even high A tier. I kind of wish that they did more with it, but they told a full story from start to finish, and that's something that most shows can't do. So the fact they did it as, I believe, a YouTube series, maybe even like it was a YouTube premium or something series at the time. It's just such a good show. And if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. I'm pretty sure it's free on YouTube right now. Once Upon a Time, B tier, high B tier. This show is directly in the middle of being good and being bad. It's basically just a bunch of Disney characters and other like fables that come to the real world and live there. But then you can also see the flashbacks of them in the fantasy world. It's a cool idea. As a Disney fan, I like seeing, oh, it's this character. Oh, there is Anna, but like a real person, I guess. They did this weird thing where in the last season, it reset everything, and the only main character that stayed was an aged up version of one of the previous main characters. And I don't know why they did that. I think they had some other characters too, but I feel like if they just didn't do that season, it might actually be an A tier show. Invincible. This is definitely an A tier show. If you haven't seen Invincible, it's a superhero show with a twist. I can't spoil it because the twist is literally at the very end of episode 1. So if you watch this show, or if you want to watch this show, watch the first episode to the very end. If you like it, keep watching it. If you don't, then don't. That's pretty much all there is to say. I think it's a very good show. Next is Gossip Girl. It's a good show, unfortunately. I'm sorry. It's so dramatic, but in the best way possible. Every character is so annoying, but that just makes the show good. These CW shows just have a grip on me, I'm telling you. Manifest did not finish. This show was such a jumble. I'm not gonna lie, it was very confusing. It's kind of like Lost, but like not Lost. It's like if Lost was a different show. That's a horrible explanation, but that's all I can say. Game of Thrones. This is an A tier. I would say maybe even a high A tier. People like to harp on the ending a lot, but honestly, I don't really care. The ending was still fine for me. I binge watched it from like season 1 to season 8. It's like 8 episodes per season, so it's so doable. And the ending wasn't that bad. The Witcher, skippable. Sorry, it's not that skippable. It's fairly skippable. I really liked the first season, but the second season felt like they were splitting in too many different directions. And then they recasted Henry Cavill, which is probably one of the dumbest things they could have done for this show. It just feels like if it had more of a coherence process, it would have been so much better. Never Have I Ever. I didn't finish it. I think I watched the first season and I liked it, but it's one of those like not generic, but like it's one of those common shows where there's like a love triangle between the main 3 characters, and it's just like about a kid that goes to school. Outer Banks. The description of this show might actually be the same thing as the last one. They do a lot of adventuring in Outer Banks. I haven't seen the newest season. I do plan on watching that. I'm going to say it's going to be a B tier because it doesn't really do anything innovative. It's kind of just one of those shows where it has a likable cast and they just do things, and that's good enough for the show. Westworld. Season 1 might have been one of the most interesting shows I've ever seen. Anything past that was incredibly boring. I don't know how they managed to do it. I watched season 1. I could barely get through season 2, and I don't think I watched season 3. Dickinson. IB. I will say I like Haley Steinfeld. I think she's my favorite actor. This show was pretty good. I really like the take of the character. I like the setting. Some of the things in it were very thematically / tonally weird. Like they would do this type of episode, but then they would immediately switch up. And it would be like something modern is happening in this time period of a long time ago, and it felt a little disjointed. I am not okay with this. Might be low A for me. This was another one of those Netflix shows. One season, got canceled. I've seen a ton of them at this point. This was such an interesting show because it had this strange vibe, almost like it should have been a movie. And then it ended on a cliffhanger and they never renewed it. And I'm really mad about that because it could have been a very good show. It gave me similar vibes to Life is Strange. And I like Life is Strange. So I'd put it here. Sex Education. This might actually be the lowest of A's under Vampire Diaries. The show was very good off the bat. The main character, or the actor for the main character, I think it was Asa Butterfield. He was very good as the main character in this, I'm not going to lie. But it got repetitive and it got kind of boring. Honestly, I'll put it high B. Panic. Skippable. It was one of those one season Amazon originals that looked interesting. I don't know if it was original, it might be an adaptation. It looked interesting. I watched it and I don't remember a single thing from it. Squid Game, A tier. Right above Queen's Gambit. I like Squid Game. It's kind of hard to say that you like Squid Game because it's become so popular that it's almost like, yeah, obviously you like Squid Game. Who doesn't? It's just one of those things that's become a part of the general culture. You kind of have to know what it is. So if you haven't seen it, just go watch it. It's like 2 seasons. Actually, it's 3 seasons now and it's over. They got from start to finish, surprisingly, for a Netflix show. So that's pretty good. Euphoria. This is a skippable show. Show is not good. There is one episode. It's an hour-long episode between seasons 1 and 2. I think. It might be the end of season 2. Where it's just the main character, the character that Zendaya plays, talking to another person for an hour straight. That is the best thing to come out of this show. Genuinely. Like, it was such an interesting episode. So if you're going to watch Euphoria, just watch that one episode and that's it. Young Justice. This is a high A. I'll put it there. Young Justice is such a good show. If you haven't seen it, just go watch it. It's like the Teen Titans. I don't even know if they have a team name. They probably do. I'm blanking on the name right now, but the first season was very good. I was sad because the second season is a drastic change. Like there's a huge time jump, but it's still good. And each subsequent season is like that, where like it jumps some time and focuses on different characters, but it's still a good show, surprisingly. Black Mirror did not finish. I watched the first season, which is like 3 episodes, and I just wasn't interested. And here we go, Arcane. You know me. You know that this is the best show of all time. Ever. Literally ever. If you haven't watched Arcane, you have to watch it. If you don't like League of Legends, it doesn't matter. You're not going to want to play League of Legends after this, to be honest. But it has the best set of characters. It's perfectly made. Like the animation is just so good. People complain about the second season, but I think it's fine just because the story that they were telling, it does feel like a two-parter. Like season 1 is its own thing and season 2 is another thing. Everything about it, other than that, is great. So go watch Arcane. The moral of the story is go watch Arcane right now. Book of Boba Fett's skippable. I think you only have to watch the Mandalorian episodes of this show. I mean, people like Boba Fett, but it just felt like, why are you making this? And 2 of the episodes were dedicated to the Mandalorian for some reason. Peacemaker, high A. I take it back. If we're talking about season 1 of Peacemaker, I might put it right here. If we're talking about season 2 of Peacemaker, I might put it right here. Averaging out, it's high B or low A. I'm going to go low A. I think season 1 of Peacemaker was some of the best stuff for the new DC universe that James Gunn is doing. It was even before that, I think, but it was so good. Season 2 felt like there was no direction. It was all character-based. They didn't do anything. They dropped a whole bunch of plot lines. They kind of just nerfed him a lot. I don't know what was going on, but season 2 was just not good. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I didn't like it. Season 1's very good, though. So watch that if you want to watch this show. The Legend of Vox Machina. I'll put it A. I don't really have much to say about the show, to be honest. I really like Critical Role, and I've seen the entire campaign 1, which this is based off of. By the way, The Legend of Vox Machina is based off of Critical Role, which is a D&D podcast or live show. So yeah, I've seen the whole first campaign. This pretty much just adapts that. There's not much different. It's very good animation. I think it's the same team that worked on Young Justice. So if you haven't seen Critical Role but like fantasy stuff in D&D, you should just watch Legend of Vox Machina. Heroes. Man, I want to like this show so much. I'm going to put a bottom of A tier. Seasons 1 through 3 were just so good. I love ensemble shows where all of the characters are like doing different things across the world. And this was one of those shows. And it was also technically a superhero show. Not really. It's more like people that got powers. But genuinely, Heroes was so good until the ending, which is where they just didn't care anymore. And I'm pretty sure it's because they only planned for 1 season. Like it was supposed to be an anthology, but they just continued it with the same characters. So unfortunately, it dropped the ball. But I really like what they were trying to do with this show. Teen Wolf did not finish. I watched seasons 1 through 3. And honestly, it just made me think that, dang, Vampire Diaries is just better. Straight up. So if you want to watch Teen Wolf, watch Vampire Diaries. The Walking Dead. This is a tough one. It's kind of hard to place The Walking Dead anywhere just because it has 11 seasons. The show went on for so long that everything happened in it. It had very good moments. It had very bad moments. The ending was like somewhere in the middle. Peak Walking Dead is probably seasons 1 through 4 or 5. After that, it just gets kind of slow. I would say end of A for me. Stranger Things has to be S tier. Probably my second favorite show behind Arcane, to be honest. I just love everything about Stranger Things. The ensemble, every single character in Stranger Things is enjoyable to watch, which is incredible that they managed to do that. The plot lines are good. If I were to give a rank on the seasons, I would go season 3, the best. Season 1, Season 4, Season 2. That's my ranking for Stranger Things seasons. First Kill. It's about a vampire and a vampire hunter who fall in love. They only got one season of it. It might also be a Netflix show. I'm not sure. I don't remember if it's Netflix or not. It was actually enjoyable. Like, it's one of those shows you can just watch in the background, and then there'll be some moments you're like, oh, that's fun. But if you like vampire stuff, watch it. If you don't, don't. Barry. This is an A tier. Barry is a very good show from start to finish. It's just about like a hitman who becomes an actor just because he doesn't want to be a hitman anymore. And the premise of that sounds dumb, but it really works. It's dramatic. There's a lot of tension in it. It also has a lot of fun moments too. So I think I would put Barry in A tier. Probably right here. Obi-Wan Kenobi, lowest of B. I would almost put skippable if I didn't like Obi-Wan Kenobi so much. It's my favorite Star Wars character. Wish this show was better. I genuinely do. But from what we got, I didn't hate it. I thought it was still enjoyable to watch. Maybe I'll even put it like here. Rick and Morty, C tier. Low B, C tier. I don't like the show. I'm gonna be honest. I know it sprouted like so many memes and it's everywhere. I just think the premise is not interesting. Like, yeah, let's do Back to the Future, but they're both weird. That's Rick and Morty. Doctor Who, S tier. I love Doctor Who. Every iteration of the Doctor. I've only seen New Who, actually, which is New Doctor Who. So it's the 9th Doctor through the, I guess now 16th Doctor. There's nothing bad about Doctor Who. Really, the only thing you could say is that the effects weren't as good at the beginning, but it gets better at the end, and the storylines in the show are all very good. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's just good sci-fi. Wednesday, I'd put it somewhere in A tier, maybe like here. Season 1 is pretty cool. Jenna Ortega, very good as Wednesday. Season 2, it was all right, but it was still enjoyable. It's not important to watch, but I think it's very good for what they were trying to do, which was a modern-ish adaptation of the Addams Family. 1899, skippable. This is by the creators of Dark, and I didn't like Dark that much, but I really liked 1899 up to a point. And that point is when it ended, and it showed a reveal of something that made no sense, and then it got cancelled, so we'll never know what it meant. That's why I'm putting it here. The White Lotus. This is a C tier. I've watched every season of this show, and I can say that nobody needs to watch this show. It's drama for the sake of drama. Things just happen, and it feels like after season 1, they couldn't come up with anything, so they just kept doing season 1 over and over again. Mythic Quest. I'm going to put this in Do Not Finish because I technically didn't finish it. I think I watched 1.5 seasons of the show. I actually did enjoy it. It's another comedy. It has the guy from It's Always Sunny, and it's about a game dev company, which I found really interesting. But none of the storylines were like profound or that interesting, so I'll leave it there. But it did have Ashley Birch in it. Dark, for me, for the world, maybe B tier. For me, it's skippable. Maybe even Did Not Finish. I could not get into this show. I think I tried watching this show 3 separate times, and on the last time I watched up to season 1, and I just said I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't know what it is about this show. I really want to like it. It's one of those things that I like where it's like, ooh, there's a mystery that you can't figure out until the whole thing is revealed at the very end. But each episode just feels like it's drawn out as much as possible. Not even like filler wise, but every scene is so slow. Kaleidoscope. Low B. I would almost put it in skippable, but this show had a gimmick where every episode is randomized. Almost every person will have a different watch order on Netflix than another person. And I thought that was such an interesting concept The story's a little bit lacking, but I mean, it's tough to do that in a type of show where every episode order is randomized. Alice in Borderland. I didn't finish this one. I think I watched season 1 and I just said, this feels like Squid Game. And I had just watched Squid Game, so I didn't watch the rest of it. Oh man, this could have been a very good show, but they just did the same thing for 5 seasons straight. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. Ken Badgley is very interesting as this main character. Season 1 is good. Season 2 is eh. Season 3 is good. Season 4 is eh. And I haven't seen season 5 yet. And I probably won't, to be honest. The Last of Us. IA. Season 1 is very good. It's a very good adaptation. You know what? I'm going to put it maybe even the highest of A's. I really like The Last of Us games. The first season was a good adaptation. The second season was a decent adaptation, and I will say it's because they cut the second game into 2 seasons, which means you won't see the results of the second season until you watch the third season. Elites. Did not finish. I think there was like a murder plot line, and that's all I remember. I know I watched season 1 though. Beef. This is a good show. If you haven't seen Beef, you should watch it. I think it's only like 8 episodes maybe. But Steven Yeun and Ali Wong, they're very good in this show. Sense8. This is a personal bias at S tier. I don't think anybody else would put this show in S tier. But for me, it is just because the concept was so interesting. There is some weird stuff in this, and if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But I think it's worth the watch. At least season 1 is. Season 2, I think they were about to get canceled, so they wrapped everything up really quickly, which honestly wasn't even that bad of an ending. But the show is just like 8 people that are all connected, and they can like see each other. They can copy each other's abilities. It's just a very good concept that I wish they did more of. It's Always Sunny. I did not finish. I think I watched like 3 seasons of this show, and then there's an episode where they kidnapped a family, and then I was like, okay, sure. They're just doing random stuff now, and I guess that's the point of the show. I don't know. I don't really vibe with it. Only Murs in the Building. High B, low A, I would say. Probably high B. Selena Gomez is really good. Martin Shorts and Steve Martin are also very good. Honestly, Only Murs in the Building might have the best 3-person cast out of any show I've seen. But each season is the same season, and unfortunately, it did fall into that trap. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. This is an S tier. I don't know why, but I watched this show thinking it was going to be kind of boring, and I ended up binging the whole thing. It was just so engaging. Maybe it was the time period. Maybe it was Rachel Brosnahan as the main character, and she's very good. But it just really worked for me. Chuck. Low A. I like this show. I'm not going to lie, I like Chuck. It was a pretty good show. I think originally I might have put it like high A, but now that I think about it more, I'll probably put low A. The OC. Psych. It's A tier. Something I will say about the OC is it has the best 2-episode opening of any show I have ever watched. The pilots and the model home. Watch those 2 episodes and those 2 episodes only. If you like them, you can watch the rest of it. It's my opinion that everyone should watch the first 2 episodes of the OC just because they're so interesting and so gripping. Like, it really made me want to watch the show, and the rest of the show is just not as good. But just watch the first 2 episodes. Firefly. I'm going to put it at a B. I know people really like this show, but it just felt so generic to me. And it's weird because it did seem like something that was unique for its time. Gotham. This show is so skippable. I watched the whole thing, and it was not worth it. I kind of wish I got those hours back. They wanted to be Batman so badly. They did every single Batman storyline, but they couldn't use Batman because of the show. And DC, I assume, not giving them the rights or the license to. Andor. Season 1 was probably the worst Star Wars show I've ever seen. I thought it was so incredibly boring. Season 2 might be one of the best Star Wars shows I've ever seen. So I don't know how they managed to drastically do that. I just don't find the political part of Star Wars very interesting, but they managed to make season 2 so good. So I really wish that I like season 1, but season 2 is worth watching. The Good Place I didn't finish. I watched the first season and it felt like the show was over. Like at the end, they revealed everything and it's like, oh, okay. And then if we do more seasons, like, is it just gonna be the same thing? Twisted Metal. This show is skippable. It's good fun. Anthony Mackie and Stephanie Beatriz just driving cars and doing stuff. It's based on a video game. And maybe it's low B, but I think you don't need to watch it. Friday Night Lights. Yes, Friday Night Lights, the only sports show I have ever seen. It's somewhere in A tier. It's probably near the end, like right here. Friday Night Lights had such dramatic interpretations of their characters, and I think that you should watch this show just because of that. Like, is it a good show? Not necessarily, but each season, the characters just did such crazy things. It's a show about football. Sorry, it's not a show about football. It's a show about the people that play football. One Piece live action. S tier. It sounds crazy, but this is the show that got me to watch the entire anime. And let me tell you, I wish that I didn't watch the first 60 episodes of the anime because it's just this show, and this show does it better. The main cast perfectly emulate the characters from the anime. I just wish it didn't take them like 3 years between seasons. Gen V. So Gen V is a college-based spin-off of The Boys. And what I will say is that Gen V is maybe 50 times more interesting than The Boys. A tier. If you don't want to watch The Boys, watch Gen V. Castle did not finish. I watched one season. I figured it's the same thing as like Lucifer, but less interesting because it's just a normal guy. Modern Family, high A. I don't know why I watched this show. I watched it randomly on a whim. I didn't expect anything from it, but I binged the whole thing and I really liked it. It's not even anything that crazy. It's just like a family that does stuff, but it was interesting. Percy Jackson, live action Disney Plus show. B tier. I like the main three characters as Percy and Beth and Grover. They tried with the movie. That didn't do well. This one, it was like decent. If you don't want to read the book, just watch this show, I guess. But I feel like the books are better. And I'm a big Percy Jackson fan. I read them all a long time ago. Avatar: The Last Airbender in Netflix live action form. It's skippable. The only good part of this show is the actor for Sokka because he feels like Sokka. The rest of it is just Avatar. It feels the same thing as Percy Jackson. They made a movie and it failed. So they made a TV show and it's decent, I guess. Lost. I did not finish the show. It just got to a point where I was like, what are we doing? Maybe it wraps up at the end. I think it does, actually. I just couldn't get through it. Fallout. This is an S tier show. If you haven't seen Fallout, watch it. If you haven't played the game, it doesn't matter. This might want to make you play the game, honestly. But it's just such a good show. There's 3 main characters. They're all going on like converging arcs in the Fallout worlds. And they did it so well. Everything looks like what the game would look like in live action. And the stories were very interesting. One Tree Hill. This show feels like if Gossip Girl didn't try hard at all. Skippable. Freaks and Geeks. A tier. This show feels like One Tree Hill actually tried. The Acolytes. This show has such bad ratings, but I don't know why. I watched the whole thing and I liked it. My favorite thing about Star Wars is when the Jedi use lightsabers to fight, and they did that a whole bunch in the show. So I liked it. Would I put it here? Maybe I'll put it here. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'll put it in the lowest of A's. The first season was pretty good. The one thing I will say about this show that I liked is that they went to college. Most shows are super afraid of doing that for some reason. but it still translated well and it kept the same tone. But in terms of vampire stories, it just feels outdated. Gilmore Girls did not finish. I watched 2 seasons of the show. I might even put it here. I like the style of it. Like people will say that they might not vibe with like the fast talking or whatever, but I enjoyed it. I'll put it here. Secret Level. Do not watch this show. It's really bad. It's video game adaptations that are in like this weird CGI animated style. If you want to see the weirdest adaptation of Pac-Man possible, watch that episode from this. Otherwise, don't watch it. Blue Eye Samurai, low A, maybe here. Blue Eye Samurai was actually pretty good. It was a good animation and the story was nice. It wasn't anything crazy. I think there was like a twist at the end. But if you're just looking for something to watch, I put it here. True Blood, another vampire story. I love vampire shows apparently. B tier. The setting wasn't very interesting. The vampire was not very interesting. The main character Suki though, she was pretty interesting. Everything else was not very great about this show, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna put it here. I think I watched maybe 4 seasons of it. Reacher, man, B tier. Unfortunately. Season 1 of this show was really, really good. And then I found out it's an anthology. None of the other characters except for Reacher were in it. And I was really sad about that because I liked the characters in the first season. So if you want to watch this show, watch the first season. Misfits did not finish. I think I don't know how many seasons there are. I could not get through the first season. I tried so hard because I heard it was like Umbrella Academy because it had the same guy that plays Klaus. It was too weird. It just felt like they were doing things just to do things. It's a bad description, but that's what I also like about it. Sherlock. I watched season 1 of this show. I would honestly put it below Glee for if bored because it's so hard to watch this show. Benedict Cumberbatch is so good at playing Sherlock, or this version of Sherlock, because it's like a modern adaptation. But man, they're like 1 hour long episodes, and each one is just a whole bunch of random clues that at the end he's like, yes, I'm Sherlock, so I put it all together. That's like, okay, great. The Bear. I didn't finish this one. I watched season 1. It was alright, I guess. I want to watch the future seasons just because I know people liked it a lot. But it didn't click. I was like, yeah, it's a good show, I guess. I watched 1 season. The Residence. I did watch this. It's 1 season long. It's skippable. It's like a murder mystery. And it's another one, like similar to Sherlock. I guess I just don't like murder mysteries. Because at the end I was like, yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense. But it wasn't anything crazy. Severance. Ivy. I know that's a very, very hot take. Season 1 is way too drawn out. Like they could have done that in 6 episodes and it would have been perfect. But they just like kept putting things that were just there to throw you off, I feel like. I got halfway through season 2 and I couldn't finish it. It's like, it's a good show. Season 1 is good. It's just hard to watch for me. Creature Commandos. I would also put this in B tier. Maybe high up in B tier. It's another James Gunn show in the new DC universe. It feels like none of these characters matter because I think there's only 1 season and I don't know if any of them are going to come back. The main character, Rick Flag, is in Peacemaker and in Superman. But other than that, you can watch it for fun. My Adventures with Superman, low A. I liked it. I like the take and the animation style. You know what? I'll put it up a little bit. I like the arcs they chose to do because they were kind of unique. Compared to most Superman stories, this one went out of its way to be different. And usually it doesn't work, but in this case it did. Greek. I didn't finish it. I watched the first half of season 1 and it felt like the show ended, so I stopped watching it. It's a show about a kid who gets into a fraternity. My Name. Mid-A, I would say. This is an interesting show because it feels like one of those shows that could go on for a while, but instead they put the entire thing in 1 season, and I think that's why I liked it, because there was no filler. It was all story the whole time, and it was good. It was very good. At the end, there was a moment where I was shocked. I was genuinely shocked that they did that. But overall, I liked it. Maybe I'd even put it maybe like up here. This is a good show. All right, coming down to the last two. First one is Hacks. I had never heard of this show past maybe like a couple months ago. I watched the whole thing in like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even put it here. It's one of the best shows I've ever seen. And I don't know how to say anything about it other than that. You might not like the style, and that's totally okay, but I found it to be exactly what it needed to be. And for our final one, The Pits. I don't like medical dramas. I don't think they're very interesting. I only watched this because it won an award. High A. I was pleasantly surprised. It was a very, very well told story from start to finish. It was very good, and I don't think I'll ever watch another medical drama, but this one was very good. I think that is definitely worth watching. So I guess there it is. That's the list. Would I change anything? Maybe some of these could be moved down to here. There's probably so many hot takes in here. But in the end, it ends up with the S tiers being Arcane, Stranger Things, Lucifer, Hacks, Community, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Teenage Bounty Hunters, Doctor Who, Sense8, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, One Piece live action, and Fallout. I think that these are some of the best shows that I have ever seen out of these 122, not including anime or MCU shows. So yeah, let me know if you like any of these shows or if you're going to watch them. Peace.